Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Oshina. Today I'm going to be doing the mood reader book tag. Decided to look up if there was a mood reading book tag out in the booktube world, since I'm trying to do like a mood reading in June type of thing. And there is one. So there are 11 questions and they just talk about different mood reading things and why you're a mood reader or whatever. So I'm just gonna jump in and here we go. So question 1 is, do you consider yourself a mood reader? And for the most part, yes, but I'm fairly good at predicting what my mood is gonna be. So I tend to I can make a TBR based on what I think my mood is gonna be for that. But also if I'm not in the mood for a book, I won't pick it up. So it works. It works for me. Oh, that's question 2. Okay. Do you set TBR lists and do you stick to them? So yes, I do still set TBRs because like I said, I feel like I can predict what my mood is gonna be because honestly, it doesn't change that much. I'm basically always in the mood for some kind of romance book. Sometimes I like more of a suspense mystery type of book, or sometimes it's just a romance, or sometimes it's a fantasy, sometimes it's sci-fi. And generally I can kind of think oh, it's been a while, I think I do want to read a sci-fi or something like that, and then I'll add that to my TBR. So what I like to do is really pull a bunch of books, put them on a TBR, and then I pick and choose when I read them. So that's how it works. Question 3 is, do books affect you emotionally? Does the mood of a book rub off on you? Yes, it absolutely does. So yes, books affect me emotionally for sure, especially, well, okay, so I can be actually, yeah, in every way. I was gonna say that happy books make me happy and sad books make me sad, but it's whatever the tone of the book is, I will feel it. That is why I tend to stay away from darker books. In general, I don't really think that's a good thing to be reading anyways, but dark books with dark magic and just evil stuff going on, or just things that I don't really want to have in my head, I will not read because I know that it will affect me. I can't just read anything. I tend to put myself into the story, so it's like I'm there, and so whatever's going on, I tend to feel whatever's going on. Okay, question 4, when you're feeling sad, what do you read or do you not read at all? It depends. When I'm just sad, yes, I will read. I tend to read Christian romance. That's what makes me happy, and so I will read a book like that, and it usually kind of lightens my mood a little bit. But if I'm depressed sad, just kind of low on life as a whole, I don't really like to read because it almost is this isn't even real. I need to figure out my life right now. I don't need to be reading a book. So it just depends. If I'm just kind of feeling sad about something, then usually reading a book will make me feel better. But if it's a general life thing, I'm I can't even focus on a story right now. I need to just get through whatever I'm going through. So it kind of comes and goes. Question 5, most often do you use reading to escape, to learn, or to critically reflect? Most often I use it to escape for sure. It's entertainment for me. It's my version of a TV show or a movie. I would choose to read over doing those things. And sometimes I like to learn for sure. I'll pick up a nonfiction about something, or sometimes it's nice when fictions actually teach you something too. Critically reading, not really my thing. I can do it, but I wouldn't choose to do that over just reading for entertainment. So, Question 6, what is a book that made you laugh out loud? There are so many funny books. The first one that I thought of was A Girl's Guide to the Outback by Jessica Kate. That book is super funny. It's about an American woman going to Australia and living on a farm and trying to convince her coworker to come back to work. And she has to be on his farm with him. And it's quite funny, the things that she gets into. Question 6 is, what is a book that has made you cry? There's so many. I do want to make a video about it, but I don't necessarily want to be sad, so I'm gonna wait for a little bit. But yeah, basically, if a book has any kind of come to Jesus moment, I usually will feel some kind of emotion, especially if I feel I can see myself in the character that is having that moment. So yeah, I cried multiple times in The Shack. I think, yeah, I mean, this whole book, it's just, it hits me in all the right places. So yeah, I cried a lot in this one for sure. And then question 8 is, what is a book that you didn't even know how you felt about it? And I decided to go with Watchers by Dean Koontz because this book had a lot that I liked and then a lot that I didn't. And then when it ended, I was like, I don't even know what to rate this. Like, I thought it was a great ending. I thought it all like came together quite well, but there were a lot of things in it that didn't sit well with me either. So I was like, what do I do? Anyways, I ended up giving it 3 stars because it was right in the middle, but yeah. Question 9, are you more likely to read on a sunny day or a cloudy day? I think I'm more likely to read on a sunny day because I tend to like to sit out in the sun and read. On cloudy days, I mean, I'll read on cloudy days too, but a sunny day, I'm like, oh boy, like I go and get a blanket, put it outside on the grass and lay down and read, and that's my favorite thing to do. Question 10, do you usually set the mood when you read, like with music, lights, or smells, whatever? Not really actually. Like, for the most part, I like to read in silence, but I can read with music going as well. I do like to make a nice cup of coffee and sit down with a book. I really enjoy doing that. Honestly, I love like laying in my bed, like right when I wake up or at night before I go to sleep, just laying down with a book. It just really calms me down, I think is what it is. So I like doing that. Question 11, can you leap from book to book or do you need a buffer time between them? For the most part, I can jump from book to book. It depends how intense the book was that I just finished. If I'm feeling quite emotionally drained from it, then I'll need to take some time. But for the most part, I just go book to book, especially if they were lighthearted books. Yeah. So one more thing I want to add on to this tag is talking about like if you're reading a book and then you are suddenly like not in the mood for it, like what do you do? So if I'm reading a book, like say, actually I did this with Watchers. So I was reading Watchers and I can have like 2 books going at a time, sometimes 3. It actually shows if the book is good if I don't start another book because it means I'm just always in the mood to read that one. So if I'm not in the mood for it, like it happened a couple times with this because this was pretty intense at times. So if I wasn't in the mood, I would put it down and start a new book. So I actually finished tons of books in between reading this. So that's how I kind of make mood reading work for me. Like if I'm reading a book and I know I want to finish it, but I'm just like, it's dragging a bit or I'm just like not as into it, I'll set it aside and start a new book. And usually if I start a new book and it's really good and I'm into it, it makes me want to read the other one as well because I'm like, oh yeah, like I love reading, it's great. So that's kind of how I make it work for me, and that is how, yeah, I make it work for me. Just said that. Another thing I thought of is talking about what you do if you're not in the mood to film a video, like if you're a booktuber or a YouTuber. So basically, if I'm not in the mood to make a video, I won't. There have been some times where it's like, oh, it's been 4 days since I've uploaded. And I try to upload between every 2 to 5 days. 3 days is my sweet spot, but sometimes I just don't have time to film and edit and upload to fit that time frame. So most of the time, if I'm not in the mood, I won't. But there have been times where I'm like, but it's been so long since I've put up a video, like I really should. And then it's funny, like once I start making the video, I'm like, oh, actually I love this. Why was I not in the mood to do this? So it's almost like you forget that you enjoy it and then you just have to do it again and you're like, oh yeah, I love this. So, you know, when life gets busy and stuff, sometimes it's like, why would I sit down and make a video? But it's like, oh, because I enjoy it. It's actually very nice. So don't know if that makes sense, but yeah. Thank you for listening to me rambling about all of this. I will try to write all of the questions down below if you want to do this video or answer any of the questions in the comments that you want. And I would love to discuss what you think about mood reading, and like based on my TBR video, a lot of people have said that they are mood readers and they can't imagine being anything else. Like setting TBRs is really hard for them. So I totally get that. For me, I just enjoy it. I think making a plan, I really enjoy making a plan, whether I stick to it or not. So that's kind of, it scratches that itch, you know? I like having a plan and I don't have to stick to it, but if the plan is there, it makes me feel good. Okay. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, you guys, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel.